Hello everyone and welcome to the first video of the Android development tutorial series. So we're actually going to be going and making Android apps now. So let's get started. So go ahead and into Google just type in Android Studio download, and then you'll get click on typically the first link, Android Studio. Let's do this right now. Download. And then after you type that in, you can click on the ad, or you can click on right here, go to download, and then you'll be sent to this page. Let's take a look at it. And of course, here we are. So now you can hit download Android Studio. I have Mac, so I would be using the Mac version. However, if you have Windows, you can do the same as well and hit the download Android Studio button. So after you've done that, let's go ahead and go into Android Studio. So actually, we'll go ahead and delete this. And here's the startup window. So we can hit start a new Android Studio project. And then in here, we're given some options of where we start out. So in this case, we're going to choose just an empty screen, nothing here. There's lots of different fun things we can do here, but we could actually add all of this functionality in later. So there's no need to start out with a complex template because we can do all this right here. So let's go ahead and hit next. We can just call this first application. All right, and then language is Kotlin, and then the minimum API level is the minimum Android version we're going to use, and so we're going to use Android 6.0 because that will actually help us run on 62.6% of devices, which means the lower we go, the higher chance or the more devices we're able to run on, but the less features we're actually able to use and we're able to tap into. So we're going to use Android 6.0 to get a fairly decent share and to be able to use as many features as possible. So as after we clicked create the project, we've built, and now we are given these folders on the left hand side. So we have the app folder, and then inside of our app folder, we have manifests. So let's go over to the manifests first. This is essentially the starting point of the application, and it provides essential information for your app. We'll go over this more in detail later, I'm sure. However, briefly, we have right here an activity. So an activity essentially is a screen in your app. And so if we're going to have multiple screens, then we would have to create multiple activities. And we can go into later how we can structure our app so that we don't actually have to use multiple activities for multiple screens. Again, we'll go into all of that in much greater detail later in this course. So let's go ahead and take a look at our Java folder. So here we have 3 packages. We have our Android tests, and our unit tests. However, we're not going to worry about those for now. We're going to go into the top layer, which is where our actual app files are. So the main activity. So this is the main screen. So you get whenever you create an application, you always have to have the main activity, and you can name that whatever you'd like. And the onCreate function is essentially the starting point of our application. So if we're going to create other methods, then this is essentially the main function, just like how we would have it when we're creating sandbox applications. This is the main function. So now let's take a look at our resource file. So we're going to go into our layout. Drawable is it has a lot of different things in here. We can go into this later. This is like our launcher icon, our launcher background, and we can put other images in here, etc. So let's go into layout though, and this is our main activity layout. So you have 2 tabs down here, design and text. So in the text, we can see the XML of our screen. However, in the design, we can actually see the screen itself. So let's actually we're going to go ahead and make this a little bigger. Okay, so now we can see we have a text view right here, and this is the type of layout that it is in. And then of course we can actually add, drag and drop other items on here as well. So we'll go ahead and delete this. But this is this is how we can actually design the layouts of our apps, and then we write our code in the main activity class here. So we'll actually go into we'll actually go into designing and making our first application in the next video. But in this video, I really just wanted to go over the very basics of Android Studio, how to set up a project, and a little bit of navigation so you kind of know where everything is at. We'll be spending most of our time while we're making this application, we'll be spending most of our time in these two folders, this Java folder and this resource folder. All right, and then inside the resource folder, of course, where we have our first application package. So get comfortable with Android Studio a little bit more, and we'll actually go over how we can run the app and set up an emulator in the next video. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Thanks again.